Do apologize for not making a review video consistently anymore. I've been skipping out quite a few units like Craig and Alicia. My motivation for making COTC content has been getting weaker and weaker, and the only reason I still keep going is because the moment I know that I let this go, I won't ever come back here again. So I will keep going until one day where I'm no longer hesitating in letting this go. Osvald is the other character on this banner sharing with Ochet. Also Octopath 2 also sharing the extra job, which is Ochet was inventor, Osvald is Arcanist, which is all of its attack can hit light. Osvald, similar to Ochet, is also DPS that can also support, except the big difference is that one is magic, one is physical. Also, most of Osvald debuff is on DPS skill, so you can just bring DPS skill while also debuffing the enemy. Odium is a 3-hit AoE dog that can inflict magic defense and debuff, and Malevolence is a 3-hit AoE that inflicts Rancor, which is a special debuff where the enemy takes 10% more potency up. Now, you might be thinking that 10% potency up is not a lot, and that is true, 10% potency up is not a lot at all. The only purpose for this effect debuff is mostly to activate other stuff that Osvald does that synergize with this Rancor effect. But the damage impact of this effect by itself isn't as impactful, so you might as well just think of it as like a debuff that just help other character, help Osvald fulfill more of his buff and passive and stuff. And then Price of Power is a Solon skill, surprisingly, or Solon ult. Surprisingly, they put this on the skill without any limit. You thought they would put like a limit, 1 and 2 usage per battle only. But no, it's Solon ult, except only downside is that you have to use SP twice more, double cost SP, which is not a problem at all. If you have Shanna, you don't have Shanna though, then this might be suffering a lot for the SP cost, but if you have Shanna, then everything will be fine. Not every DPS that Osvald support needs a skill because most DPS these days have potency up built inside them. You can use this with Black Knight if you don't want to run like the hassle ulting with ulting with a Solon ult somewhere else, because Black Knight has a conditional 100% potency up on his EX skill, so you can conserve EX skill and just use this instead, and he will do a lot of damage too, so... And then his EX skill, One True Arcanum, reference to One True Magic that Osvald have in Octopath 2. 5-hit AoE dog that also reduces your Latent power cooldown by 2. It's not as impactful because there are other ways to reduce his Latent power cooldown, that's just another way. So therefore just treat this as you have a 5-hit AoE dog whenever you want. Now for his passive, basic passive, whenever hit weakness, he reduces cooldown of Latent power by 1. You might want to get another character that can help him with this, weakness bypass, Black Maiden Medusa in the future. Because he only hit dark and light, and he does not have any other form of elemental exploit on himself. So you really do want to give him like more of the weakness bypass buff that other character give. Also, if the enemy has Rancor, you hit one with shield. It's the same effect as Tatlock. They don't stack, so you're running Osvald EX with Tatlock EX. This passive won't do much. But in normal fight where you don't have Tatlock EX, then yes, it's one hit extra shield and dock. Passive number 1, when the enemy is broken, then Osvald gain more buff, which is nice for him to do more damage. Passive number 2, if the enemy has Rancor, then grant front row the conversion stat, magic defense of self of Osvald EX to magic stat. And like the other type of conversion stat passive we've seen before, the stat increase for this is impactful enough that you will see the damage increase. Might as well say that this effect is really nice because they don't have a cap to them. Unlike other stuff where eventually you have to run out, like, oh yeah, other character buff front row, attack up, magic attack up, and then damage up, and then eventually you kind of cap out on those buffs. Then you have Osvald with the stat buff, which is not even cap at all, so it can stack with other stuff. So overall, it's a really nice passive to increase more damage without having to worry about overlapping other type of attack or magic stat buff. Now for his Latent power, Prep 6 we use 12, there's a reason why he has so much other source of Latent power cooldown reduction, is because this passive has this Latent power has a cooldown of 12 turns, so... And for the effect, it's just a 1-hit AoE dog that repeats itself and you max boost it at the next turn, so kind of like a start turn attack. Honestly, if you only use Osvald EX for the support or just for that one Solon skill, on his Solon ult on his skill, you don't even have to worry about this because it's a 1-hit it's gonna hit cap and it's gonna do it again the next turn. It's not as quite as impactful, so it's fine for you to not use the latent power at all, but when the enemy is broken, then do use the skill for big damage. Now for his ult, Consuming Rancor. To hit dark, AoE dark, hit light, also inflict magic defense down and dark resistance down. If you're in a dark team, this will be extremely absolutely beneficial, and you also inflict 7 times Rancor, which means you use this ult once, then you might as well be the entire fight. The enemy always have Rancor, so keeping up Rancor effect on the enemy is not that hard at all. Also reduce LP cooldown by 3. Now for Awakening Priority. If you plan to use Osvald just for his one Solon ult on a skill, support skill, then you don't even have to worry about using this ult because the debuff, it doesn't even benefit physical team. And for magic team, it's only for the 15% magic defense down, and you probably have other source of magic debuff. Signa can give 30% down, so it's also not as importantly as needed. So overall, if you are planning to use him a lot in dark team, then go for Awakening ult first. If you are only planning to use him in normal team fight, normal either physical team, magic team, then either A1 or Awakening ult is good, so just pick the one that you prefer. For Osvald EX, I am giving him 8 out of 10. He is a DPS that can support. Both unit on this banner are DPS that can support, except it's not as extreme as eventually the future that is to come with like the future anniversary unit. But just ignore that for now. Benefit that Osvald EX give is that he can do damage himself, and he can give stat conversion, which is a really strong buff, and also a few other debuff, and also ultimate debuff. These are quite useful, however, these are not must-have. Compared recently to other strong support, Dark Priestess has a weakness bypass given to everyone. Media has a turret FUA that is essentially an extension of the main character DPS stat because of the FUA stat scale off of your main DPS stat. Compared to this, what Osvald give is not close to a must-have level. Overall review of both Ochet and Osvald, they are both strong units, but neither of them are must-have. So therefore, you want to skip them for stronger unit in the future, like the Summer unit or the FF6 collab, that's fine too. Character that like Ochet and Osvald buff, like for Ochet is Black Knight and Odiel and Avant in the future, they will be fine without having Ochet. And for Osvald, you don't really, well, he's strong in Dark Team, but he's not a must-have, and for normal Magic Team, it's fine to skip him. It's not like the level of Kaina and Tiziano where, oh, you have Kaina but you don't have Tiziano, well, you're Kaina yourself for now, so don't worry about skipping them, okay?